So I'm here with Tim, who's one of the Make Music Your Life core team members that makes many of the wonderful things that happen in Make Music Your Life actually happen. And I want to talk with Tim about the first stage of the automatic music machine, and really the it's really the fuel that drives the entire creative process, and it's the equivalent of the train driver throwing the coal into the fire to make the wheels go around, to make the steam, and that is the process of, or the methodology of, what we call splurging. So before anything else, so I mean, we started working together behind the scene, in terms of business stuff, because you're a freelancer, not about music, but about the business side of things, sort of, doing, doing all of the web stuff and all that kind of thing. But then I noticed that you had a guitar in your room there. You can't see it at the moment, but you had a
Blue
guitar there.
Stratocaster.
Yeah, that's right. And I was like, "Oh, are you a musician?" So why don't you talk about, before I taught you splurging and everything? Where were you at with your music? Where was it? Where did it exist in your life? What was it?
Um, I mean, music was really just something that I've always dreamed about, and it was guitar would just be like something that I really enjoyed as a kid. One of my best friends showed me guitar. He introduced me to Linkin Park, and ever since then, I was like, "Oh my God, these guys are amazing!" And I want to learn how to do that. And I got into like Guns N' Roses and rock music, and it was always just like a hobby for me. I was always just like noodling around my guitar. And I would watch videos about like guitar tone and all that stuff, and I'd be like really into it. And but it was never like, oh, I can't make really great music. Like, that's for like super talented people. And but I've always had an interest in it. I've always had an interest in dancing, and that really involved a lot of music as well. So um, yeah, it was just really like I was just into practicing, and I really enjoyed the process, as you would say, of learning the instrument, getting better at a skill for it. But for some reason, I never knew how the creative process worked.
Okay, and then what? So then, obviously, we'll talk about splurging, but then you kind of learnt the automatic music machine, and which starts with splurging. So where is music now? What are you doing with music now?
Um, well, the first thing is when you introduced the splurge to me, I almost didn't really believe it. I was like, okay, I'm not really sure how this thing leads to finished tracks. But what ended up happening was I finished a track, and then I was like, oh my God, I can actually finish a track. And when I did that, I was really, really surprised, and I was like, maybe I can actually like release music. And slowly and slowly, I started to build my confidence, build the tracks into done. And then I decided one day I'm gonna release a track. And ever since then, I started to release more tracks, and it went from 1 month to um, every couple of weeks. And then eventually this year, I started to release a track a week, and I released my first album. And I'm just making music every single week now.
Yeah, and you actually, someone bought that album, didn't they? So you've actually made
Yeah,
some money from.
I've actually made some money with my music, and
Yeah.
it was just something I never expected to happen because when I was first releasing my music, it was just kind of like, oh, I'm just releasing it, and then I saw like I saw like 2 or 3 cents come in, and I was like, "Mom and Dad, I made 3 cents off of my music." And then all of a sudden, I released my album, and boom, like 10 times, 100 times more money than I've ever made through just streaming. Obviously, 3 cents times 100 is not that much, but it's still like I was just like, "Whoa!" Like people actually bought my music, and it
Right.
wasn't just through streaming.
Right, so it's nowhere near life-changing money whatsoever. But one thing you got to remember is that if one person wants to buy it and does buy it, then there are other people that will as well. And even, I don't know, Justin Bieber. had his first sale.
Yeah.
Right? Not that you want to be Justin Bieber, but anyway. So the so how did kind of splurging unlock this? And obviously, it's the whole system as well, but really, it started with splurging. So what was the difference that splurging made? Because I think it's fair to say. I mean, I checked with you beforehand, so it's all right that I'm saying this. But the before splurging, you were an incurable, supposedly perfectionist, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. I was one of those people like growing up as Asian, my parents are like, you got to get A's. So to me, A's and being a perfect Asian child is like the epitome of perfectionism. And not only do you have to be a good kid, you have to get good grades, you have to respect your parents, you have to um, obey every single thing that you've been told and don't question things and just go with it. And in school, like getting a perfect score was a dream. It was hard for me because I was not good at school. But slowly and surely I got better and I started to learn the patterns. There's a lot of patterns in school that I can recognize, and as I got better at recognizing those patterns, I was like, oh, okay, I can actually take this pattern in order to get an A, and it would mean that I have a good result and it's perfect. Uh, no one can be like, no, this is up for interpretations or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just went through my whole life that way. Um, if I didn't get to inbox 0 for my emails, I was a failure. Or not, maybe failure is a pretty harsh word, but that would probably describe the feeling that I would feel. I read a book called Getting Things Done, and it was all about like getting things done. Like,
But
you
what
know,
you're saying, Tim, so what you know, I'm sure a lot of people watching this are like, isn't this good though? I mean, what everything you're saying sounds like you're talking about achieving things and getting things done and getting good grades. And in what ways what you're talking about a bad thing? Why is this a problem to solve? How can it be a problem to solve? Isn't this what we're all trying to do?
yeah, I mean, that's so funny because what you think that being perfect is good, but the other side that people don't tell you about is how much they beat themselves up over this perfectionism and how much they toil over this idea that it has to be perfect. And it got so bad to a point where I was actually unconscious of the fact that my perfectionism was holding me back from being able to try more things and to do more things with my music that I wasn't that I didn't know was capable. It also allowed me to take more risky steps towards things that I actually wanted instead of just trying to play it safe because I think perfectionism is about playing it safe. Um, my parents raised me to not repeat their mistakes of making a lot of mistakes and not knowing going into uncertainty. And so the perfectionism allows me to be able to be safe and allows me to make sure that I do the right things, achieve the right things according to, you know, what their standards are.
Yeah.
Um,
So perfectionism is this, and it's not real, but it's this fictional, like everything, there was nothing, there were no problems, right? And the everything, and what it stops you from doing. I mean, I think it's fair to say that probably that perfectionism meant that you weren't finishing music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if it's not perfect, then you won't finish it. So
Yeah,
therefore, if it's true that finishing music is what allows you to make progress, essentially what perfectionism is doing, because that is true, in order to get good at anything, you need to do it over and over again. So in order to be finishing better music, you need to finish music that isn't good enough yet over and over again. So if
right.
perfectionism is stopping you in any way or slowing you down from finishing music, then it is the thing that is stopping you from getting as good as you could be about making music. Right. So
Even just getting started.
yes.
Um, like I would take perfectionism with me to the studio as soon as I like the first thing that I hear, I'm like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. And I'd search again, and then I'd be like, no, that's not perfect. That's not
Right,
what I'm looking for just yet.
right, exactly. So let's talk about what splurging actually is. Right. So in splurging, we are first of all simply making ideas without, and this is going to be like, what? How do you make good music by doing this? Which is what you were talking about. It's a very unusual. The first rule of splurging is that you don't focus on quality. Okay. The second rule of splurging is that you go as fast as you can. And really, what that rule is about is in service of the first rule. Because if you go as fast as you possibly can, it's actually very hard to focus on quality. It helps you not focus on quality. Okay. So why on earth would we not focus on quality in order to make quality? How does that work? I mean, why talk about your experience of, because when you first heard me say that, what was your reaction to it?
I was just like, uh, I highly doubt that's gonna happen. But this guy seems pretty reputable, and he's got pretty good case studies on his sales page. So I suppose I'll give him a shot. And it was, I just remember it was just being so weird. I was really uncomfortable. I was like, "Am I doing this right?" And it was a lot of second guessing myself, but I just did it. Um, and I think what it allowed me to do was it just kind of unlocked these chains that I didn't know I had in the process. And I was just like, I'm gonna try this out. It's very different from what I'm taught, but maybe I can make it work. And I started out with just my guitar actually. I had a beat that I made, and then I had my guitar, and then it was literally just me playing random chords. And I did that for 10 minutes. Um, Actually, I think I did it for 5 minutes because I was like, 10 minutes is so hard. And I just couldn't sit down and do 5 minutes. So I did 5 minutes, and I just remember you told me there was this one rule that you told me, which is you export it. This is after the first two, is you export it and you don't listen to it for 7 days. I thought that was like very weird. I was like, 7 days, like that's are you kidding me? Like I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to listen to what I just made right after. But I, I remember you didn't give me any information about that, so I was just kind of
Yeah.
I think
So
I was annoyed about it, but I don't remember.
yeah. So the first thing to say is that if you're going, what, like this like it's crazy, like bald bloke telling me not to focus on quality in order to make quality. Now, what's wrong with this guy is completely full of it. What a load of nonsense. The question I would have for the majority of people who have that reaction is, how is your strategy working out for you right now? Right? If you think, like, even people who are very, very successful, how painful is your creative process right now? How much suffering do you go through in your creative process right now? How is what you're doing right now working out for you? If it's going slowly, or you're not finishing anything, or like the creative process is some kind of agony at any point, then just try it with an open mind. Just see what happens, is what I'd say. So that's the first thing. Now the third and the fourth rule of splurging, and is, no matter what's happened in the process, you will have finished something. If you focused, when I say finished, you will have an idea of some kind. There's no specific thing it needs to be. It could literally just be a melody. But if you've been splurging for 5 or 10 minutes without a focus on quality, you'll have more than a melody, right? If
Right.
you've really taken those seriously, right? So, but it can be a melody. It can be a beat. It can be, I mean, it can be anything. A splurge isn't any particular thing. It's just what you have done in that time without focusing on quality and going as fast as you can. Okay, so let's say you splurge for 10 minutes and you have a thing. No matter what it is, no matter how bad it is, you think it is, no matter how bad you think it is, no matter what you feel about the process or anything else, no matter how frustrated you are, no matter how much you go, God, this Mike Monday bloke is a fool. How dare he? No, none of that. You record that thing into an audio file. Export, bounce, record, whatever it, you can do it with hardware. If you're using hardware, you would record it. If it's just on a guitar, you would record the thing that you've done. But if it's in a DAW, you record into it, but you have a stereo audio file. You put that and you save the DAW file or whatever it is. You save the stuff so you can get that stuff back. You put it away and you do not listen to it for 7 days is a good start. And then you do another splurge. Now, I'm not actually going to tell you why, just like with Tim, I'm not going to tell you why that is the rule, because it's really important that you do that. What I would recommend that you do, actually, if you really want to do this properly, in the description to this video, there is a link and a coupon code for the Idea Explosion Challenge program, where I will teach you splurging over the course of 7 days. Fully teach you splurging. So go and do that if you want to find out what splurging is about and what it can do. I thoroughly recommend doing that. It's it will. I think it's fair to say it will blow your mind. What ends up happening. But those two rules, particularly, without the third rule, which is record, export, and bounce, you wouldn't have the fourth rule. But you have to export the thing, and you're not allowed to listen to that for 7 days at least. That rule will teach you more. I don't want to say more than a music degree, because I did a music degree and I'm not sure it taught you more, but in a certain sense, it will teach you more than a music degree
I think it will
about
you.
the creative process and about what is holding you back from making music.
I think it'll give you certain insights that you can't get anywhere else. I would
Yeah.
say it more than teach you, it'll give you certain insights that you didn't know were there.
Yeah, exactly. You will have light bulbs going on. And so sorry to be mysterious about it, but please, just do not listen to those splurges 7 days. And when you do listen to the audio file, not the DAW file. That's really, really important as well. So those are the 4 rules of splurging. Do not focus on quality. Just make something, anything. You have, if it helps, my and Tim's permission to make utter crap. I have made enormous amounts of crap, but I think it's fair to say that the quantity of crap you allow yourself to make is actually also correlated with how good your music ends up being. Yeah, the more crap you make, the better your music will end up being. This is leveraging quantity to create quality. Remember, quantity and quality are not in opposition. Quantity is the process and quality is the result. It's like saying that cooking and food are in opposition, right? So it's like, I'm all about food, but I can't stand cooking. I suppose if you're a raw foodie, then that makes sense. But anyway, so yeah, but they're not in opposition, right? So you basically make as much as you can, as fast as you can. You record, export, bounce, and save. And then you don't listen to your splurges for at least 7 days. And then when you do listen, you listen to the audio file. Okay, so Tim, just to finish this up, without splurging, where do you think you would be at with your music right now? Obviously, this is just a guess. You don't know because you are splurging every day now. But without splurging, where do you guess you would be with your music right now?
At a cubicle, in front of a computer, working with coworkers that I do not like, and dreaming about making music, listening to people on YouTube, and seeing how great at music they are, and how jealous I am that I can't make that happen. Yeah, seriously, I would just, I don't think anything would have changed for me at
Right.
all, because I would have just been doing the same thing.
Exactly. So, you would be in the same position as you were before, which is dreaming, watching YouTube videos about how to make better music without actually making better music. And really, I mean, if nothing else, one thing that splurging allows you to do is something every single day. Because it's so, once you get over this whole, oh, it's really hard not to focus on quality. Once you get over that, and it does take some practice, particularly for some people, particularly probably for someone like Tim, which is why I got him on this particular one about splurging. But once you get through that supposed difficulty, it's actually easier to do it this way once you get over that. What it does is it lowers the bar. You no longer need a stretch of 4 hours to even think about making music. You just need 5-10 minutes, and you can keep practicing every single day. So with that said, don't forget to subscribe and like. And also, if you're interested in really learning more about splurging, how it works, what's behind it, and going through that, then click the link in the description. There's a coupon code as well. And have fun with splurging. Be prepared. I wish that I was about to splurge for the first time. It's
Do you remember what that was like?
Because I developed it, I don't think I ever had that experience, but I've seen it in so many thousands of people where they're like blue pill, red pill type situation. They're like, I can't, this, whoa, it's like, mind melting sort of what? That I wish I was about to learn it. So with all that said, have fun. And as ever, onwards and upwards.